It's reeling up there now.
There we go. Hey, everyone.
Okay.
All right. So go ahead, Lavale. Introduce the show. It's all
Uh,
yours.
uh, hello, everyone. I'm sorry that we ran into technical difficulties starting our show today. So I'm your host, Lavale, and this is my co-host.
Hey,
Uh, she's on that side, and I'm
I'm
on
on the
this
other
side.
side.
Yeah, okay, we'll get it. We'll get it together. But this is my co-host, Ella Isaac, and we're the
Yes.
Lavale and Ella Live show.
Hey,
So
everybody.
you go ahead and talk for a minute there, and let me pull up whatever's going on.
Your comments, your comments.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. It's nice to see everyone. I see you're popping in here and there. We just had a little bit of technical difficulty, as Lavale said. Who knows why? It just happens here and there. I see you popping up. So, hey, everybody, checking in. It's Good Friday. It's Easter. Happy Easter to all of you. And of course, we've got to say hello to the people that are checking in. Hey, Fern. Fern, and she's in North Hollywood. All right, she's in a different city every time. Checking in to the Lavalley and Ella Live show, and we're happy to be here. Did you have a good week, Lavalley?
I had a great week. Last week I had my eyelid surgery
That's right.
happening. So I went around with a black eye for the whole week, and so I couldn't go nowhere. I was like,
Okay.
but everything worked out real well for me, and so I'm very happy, and I'm glad to be able to see everyone, and
It sounds like it was like a real simple, I know it was eye surgery, but it seemed like it was a real simple in and out, right? You weren't there.
yeah. I was amazed. I mean, I don't know what happened to make my eyelid fall down.
Mm-hmm.
They still can't tell me why or what made it happen. All I know is that one morning I woke up, my eye was red and my eyelid was down so low I could hardly see out of that eye. So from that point on up until now, and that happened way back in November, and up until now, it had been that way. And so when I went to the doctor, I was kind of afraid, but now I'm very happy that he
I
was
was
able to.
I was impressed that you went and got eye surgery. I was like, oh, okay. He didn't even tell. He told me like the day before, hey, I'm going in tomorrow. You got the show, right? I was like, oh, okay. Of course, I got you.
Yeah, the good thing is that they knock you out. I went in and the girl started asking me a question, and the next thing I knew, they were saying, "Oh, it's okay, everything's over with." I was like, "All right,
There you go. There you go. Well,
okay."
as we've been talking, we've got a few more people that have checked in. We've got to say hello. You see them coming in, right, Lavalley?
I see them. You want to give some shout outs? Can you?
Oh, of course, got to say hi to Mel. Mel, hey Mel. Mel is part of the Bamily family. Ether, your hats went out. I see they went to your New Orleans address, so I guess I'm going to see you at Jazz Fest. That would be great in a few weeks. Who else is in the house, Lavalley?
Well, I see Manhattan and daughter are in the house tonight,
Okay,
and Robin is in the house.
okay.
Us, Midland, Texas is in the house, and I know you just said you sent some hats to Ether, and so I was set up for Gumbo Fest a couple weeks ago,
That's right.
and so of course she was down in New Orleans, and from my vantage point, I could see over into Congo Square. I couldn't really leave my area to go to Congo Square, but I could really see into Congo Square where they have different groups. They have, some dancing and stuff like that, and more cultural events in one stage, and the other stage, they only have like brass bands and jazz and all that kind of stuff going on. But I could see this lady and she was just bouncing. She was enjoying that music. I mean, enjoying that music. And I was like, I could see her, but I could not tell who she was. And then, I needed to go get an icy because my stomach was really bothering me. So I went that way, and guess who it was?
Okay. Someone
None
enjoying
other than
the
Ether. Yes.
festival. Enjoying the festival. I
Oh,
think
yeah, she was really enjoying it.
I look forward to seeing her at Jazz Fest. I see, Wilhelmina, you made a comment about the YouTube broadcasting. Just to let you know, our tech guy is having the night off. So, of course, we are at the controls. And if the YouTube is not working, we'll look into it for you. Okay. We will look into it. So, uh, don't be too concerned about that at
Yeah,
the
yeah,
moment.
maybe when Zeke checks in, he'll give us a warning or let us know something that we're not sure. Yeah, I see.
For sure.
We got a couple people on YouTube now, right?
Yes, I think
It's
so.
showing that a couple people have. I hope you are able to, down to get on to
Yes,
YouTube by now,
yes. So
because we should.
before we go any further, I want to let you know who we have on tonight. Of course, our guest tonight, Sehar Peerzada. She's been on before, but she hasn't been on for a while, and really, really looking forward to having a conversation about who she is as an artist and the different facets of what she does as an artist. We all see her with clothing, but there are many more things that she does. So I'm going to have an interesting conversation with her in a little while.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing her on our show because she usually has some very interesting designs. Um, I wasn't very much aware of her work before she came on the show for the first time, but I really do enjoy her design work. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what she's been up to. So, uh,
Yeah, and hearing other things that she's been up to as well. I know she's participated in a few major events in Baltimore. So yeah, it's going to be a good conversation. In the meantime, any birthdays, Aries out there? Number one birthday next week
ah,
is Mr. Lavallee's birthday is next week, everybody. So give him a shout out. I think it's early next week, right?
yeah, it's the 13th. I don't even know what day that's on. I've been so involved in my work, I haven't even, and I probably am not going to get to enjoy it like I did last year. Last year, I had dinner with Minhati and daughter Wilhelmina, because she's on this thing by Wilhelmina Gibbs. So I'm just going to
Uh-huh.
give her that shout out as to Wilhelmina Gibbs. But we enjoyed dinner in the quarter with my son, so it was like, a nice little birthday party.
Cool.
And I probably won't get to do that this year because I got
Work to
four
do.
shows. I got four shows within the next 2 months and nobody to help me. So I gotta put the pedal to the metal, whatever they call it.
Yeah, it is a lot. It is show season. Part of me is a little bit torn in just like getting to all these events. It's a lot of work. And then also really investing time and energy into online sales. So I'm a bit torn because I have enjoyed that in 2021. 2022 was a mix of both. So we'll see how 23 goes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to 23. I think 23 is going to be a real good year
Yeah.
for summertime. It's going to be like a real return to natural, I hope. So,
Yes. Yes.
all right.
So there you got your happy birthday in
Thank you
advance.
so much.
Okay. If you're watching and you enjoy what we are showing, please share on Facebook. If you're watching us on YouTube, please click that notification bell and subscribe to our channel. If it's not up on YouTube, it shows me that we are broadcasting on YouTube. Don't worry, it will go up at a later date. It will go up right after this broadcast. So you'll be able to watch it again and again. Oh, now you're getting the birthday greetings.
Yeah, yeah, and I see it's at Wena, and she's from Nashville, and so she's got like so much going on in her city right now, in her state, that it's give her a close shout out because those guys are definitely in the news right now. We didn't know you had such poetic state congressmen and this stuff going on down there who really can, I mean, they oritate. I guess that's the word.
Irritate. Yes, that's politics. I stay away from politics.
Oh, I
But
hear you.
it's hard to not see what's going on. Definitely, yeah, I understand.
Well, it's going to affect quite a bit of things. So I'm really not to say that I'm happy it's happening, but it's great that things come to light. That's about what it is.
Yes, yes, I agree. As always,
Yeah.
as the world seems rough and wicked out there, it's just because the light is getting brighter and brighter and shining in all those dark corners. So just think of it in that way. Okay.
All right.
All
So
right.
so I guess we better get to showing some work, and
Yeah.
and we're really thankful that you guys hung out and hanging with us, and go through all the bad stuff with us because sometimes we make the mistakes, and I probably made the mistake of starting the show wrong or something, just out of not being able to do it most of the time. But just I'm glad that you bear with us and hang out with us. Okay.
Okay. No mistakes. We're always learning, and that's a good thing. Always learning, growing. So we're going to show some work. We're going to show some hats, and we're going to show some jewelry, and then we're going to have our guest Sehar Peerzada on. She's based in Baltimore. If you haven't seen her work before, hey, look her up. She has an awesome website, Peerzada.com, I believe. If that's incorrect, I know she will correct me later on, but she has a wonderful clothing line. But we're going to see a little bit other things that she does and talk about that in the rest of the show. So we're going to show some hats. I'm going to go first. Lavale's going to go second, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right. So here we go, everybody. I used to say if you see something that you like, put it in the comment section. And yes, please do that. But you will have much more of an enjoyable time going to the website, picking out your hats, using different ways of paying, shop pay, afterpay, PayPal. It makes life a lot easier when you go straight to the website, which is lipshats.com. That's lipshats.com. If you don't follow me on Facebook, follow me on Facebook as well, which is Lips Hats, facebook.com/Lips Hats. Thank you, Lavallee, for the hats. He's working his thing in the background, right? Yeah, go to my Facebook page and follow me because all the new hats that come up, they go immediately to the Facebook page. That's the first time you're going to see them. And lastly, I would say subscribe to my website, and yours get emails and specials and discounts, that sort of thing. Okay, so first hat is Swirl. I've shown this in ivory before. It's now in yellow. And I'm showing a lot of yellow hats tonight. I think it's the Easter color. It's pretty, looks good on most faces, most skin colors. Yellow is lovely. So this is like a lemon yellow, soft lemon yellow. And don't forget, these are all hand dyed. And these first two I'm going to show are smaller sizes. So if you have a smaller size head, 22-inch, 23-inch, some of them I can do 21-inch, which is the smallest I can go. These hats are great for you. So I have a medium head size, 23 and a half. So they look a little tight on me, but just going to show you how the hat is. And the swirl at the top, it kind of rises up and pops up in the middle when you put it on. So this is swirl. It comes in yellow. It comes in ivory, and it's a great looking hat. A little bit strong in the lights there. Let me pull it back for you so you can actually see the true color. And it has a roll brim inside. Okay, the swirl. I'm going to do it in orange as well. That will probably come up next week, but it's priced at $72. That is the swirl. Swirl 22. Next slide, please. Next slide, slide number 2 is called Koi, and it's the same material as Swirl, darker yellow. So, and it has just a different shape to it. This is all hand work done. I don't have blocks or molds. It's all hand done. So I'm just dipping down so you can actually see the crown on that. Maybe it's better if I hold it up and you can just see it all the way around. Okay. This is a material, I'm sorry, Koi is priced at $72, and this is the golden yellow. This is a material that I've just started going back to. It was the first material that I ever used when I first started, and my supplier said, "Hey, I've got these. Would you like to purchase? It comes in like a natural and white, and then I dye the colors. Got this material. Would you like to buy it?" I'm like, "Okay." Gave me a good price. I was like, "Okay." Let me start playing with this material again, and it was fun. So it's nice to do these like really swirly shapes and organic shapes, and it's all hand manipulated. So I'm having fun going back in time playing with old materials. So anyway, that one is Koi, again made for people with short haircuts, small head sizes. It's priced at $72. Slide number 3, please, is the Dare to Be Different. Dare to Be Different. I've shown it before. It comes just in this colorway so far. I'm going to do it in other colors, but I haven't done so far. And it's such a great playful hat. You could pop it all the way down, move it to one side, create those angles. See, I'm just playing with it. You could pop that yellow all the way down. Dare to Be Different is priced at $88. Okay. It also comes in solid black. That's right. All right, next slide, please. I think Dare to Be Different. It's a new design this year. I think it's going to be quite a popular design as we go into the season, especially when I do it in different colors. Next slide, please.
Okay. I think I missed one here. Hold on just a sec.
That's okay.
Let's see.
Slide
There we
number
go.
5. Okay, we'll do slide number 5. That's okay.
Did
Slide
I
number,
miss one?
you did slide number 4, but we'll do number
Oh,
5, which is called Skylark. Skylark I have shown in turquoise. I have shown it in gray. Now this is the yellow. Beautiful hat, pleated from crown to brim. Okay, and knotted leather. You got white and lemon yellow leather on there, and it's priced at $195. This one is called Skylark, and it's a one of a kind piece. Slide number 4, we're going back, is called Ray. Again, it's that lemon yellow textured straw. This straw has all kind of knots all over it. Really pretty. And the leather is lemon yellow and violet all the way around. I'll try on number 4 for you. This one is Ray. Funky fedora. You could have that brim up or you could pop it down. Okay. And it's priced at $185. Part of the funky fedora selection of hats that I have on my site. Slide number 6, please. Again is funky fedora. This one is Plymouth. It's yellow and turquoise straw, or like a light, I guess that's like a Tiffany green. but it's turquoise. A little bit straw. Okay, there we go. Again, you could pop that brim down or pop it up. Popping it down so you can see the leather on here. Knotted leather, turquoise, and lemon yellow. Most of these sizes are a 23.5 inch. If you need them a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, I'm happy to do that for you. This one is priced at $195 and it's called Plymouth. Next slide, please. Joy. Joy, again, is a funky fedora. It's that turquoise and yellow combination. Not so much of a hat, smaller brim, tight, compact shape. Again, it's that textured straw. Joy is priced at $185. And show you the leather all the way around. All right, I think I have one more to go. One more? Yes.
I think
Two
two
more.
more.
Two more.
Yeah.
This is Mars. Mars is, again, a funky fedora. The crown is a little bit deeper. Handmade leather bow, white and yellow. And I like the brims up at the moment. So this is called Mars and it's priced at $185. And one more, it was I was asked to show it again last week, and it's called Smash. Solid black, great hat, all black, simple, easy, unisex piece, and it's priced at $77. And again, you could pop that brim down if you want to. This one is Smash, and it is a large size. These are 24 inches. Okay. In fact, lovely, I could see you wearing this.
Yeah.
So I might do one of these for you. All right. Yeah, you could definitely do this. All right. So that's my selection for the evening.
The
Number
wrong one
3,
here.
Lovely. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
I
Right
just see
one.
a comment from Robin. Robin, I sent you an invoice. Check your email. If you didn't get it, send me your email again, and maybe I have the wrong email, but send me your email or check your email for the invoice that I sent you for the Smash hat. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I like the Smash Hat. Smash Hat was great, and the colors of the yellow and everything, the turquoise and blue, really pretty colors.
Thank you. Thank
Really
you.
pretty.
Yeah, I could see you doing this in just all black.
Oh yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah, that'll
Yeah.
work for me.
Okay. You got it. You got it.
All right, look, and instead of me showing mine now, maybe we should just go to Sahar now,
Yeah, we can come back. Yeah.
and we'll come back to me, and I'll show my work at the end. But
Sure.
we
We'll,
asked her
we'll,
to we asked her to be around about 8:20, so I don't want to, I don't want to
we will
take up too
switch it
much time.
over.
I think she's still here, still ready. So I
She's
think we'll
ready.
just add her on in, and
Yeah, no fanfare. We're just gonna bring her in, and here we go. This is Sehar Peerzada from Urban Masala. There we go.
all
There
right.
she is. How you doing today? Your mic
Oh,
is off.
your mic is off. We can't hear you.
There we
Hear me?
go.
There we go.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
I was saying I want a hat.
Oh, I can do it for you, most definitely. You know that. I want to know, how's your week been? What have you been working on lately?
Oh my. This month, the last 2 months have been overwhelming in terms of amounts of work, which
Mm-hmm.
is a good thing. But it's very hard to find assistants, or interns.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's busy. Right now. I am currently working on a show that I do every year, except during the pandemic, for Flowers High School in Prince George's County, Maryland. They have an amazing theater program, and I've been doing costumes for them for, oh, I think going on 12 years now.
Okay.
And for a school budget, they have one of the largest budgets. They have a lot of participation from students, a lot of very talented students. And so every year around April, they have a show, but we start working on the show back in October, November when it gets cast. So the students work and we're, working and formulating. And right now it's crunch time because the show opens April 13th. And so I'm in my studio working on costumes and they get vacation.
So you're actually a costume designer as well, and you do pieces for theater, not just
Yes,
school.
I've done costume for a long time. I never, went to New York to do, huge Broadway productions, but there's a lot of local community work. And I will say though, it doesn't pay a lot. The budgets are small for local theaters, even some of the larger theaters here in Baltimore. There, the budgets are not that great, and costumers seem to be at the bottom of the barrel
Mm-hmm.
in terms of
Mm-hmm.
that. But I've done costumes for Sweet Honey and the Rock back in the day. That was most fun. I like super creative uh, atmospheres like that. So I've done all kinds of shows from The Wiz to classic pieces. So that part of what I do probably came out of I was always a dancer. I'm from DC originally, and I was with the Capitol Ballet Company for a number of years. But at the time I was dancing, I kind of knew I was going to be working backstage, so rather than in front, although I
What
loved
made you
dancing.
think that?
I didn't have the body type at the for
Okay,
the time period.
for the time
You know,
period.
yeah,
Mm,
now everybody type dances,
right.
professionally and what have you, and it's wonderful to see.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time I was coming up, you had to be tall and lanky, and have that nice slender, no curves.
No
They didn't want
curves.
any curves. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I started working early, on the costume part.
Mm-hmm.
And I always was a clothing person. I never liked to wear what anyone else was wearing. So I started sewing, I guess I was about 12 maybe. My grandmother
Okay.
forced me to sew by hand.
I like the way you say forced.
Well, and I to this day I don't like hand sewing. It takes too long. I do it, but that's not I like zooming on the machine. So hand sewing is one does what one must for the craft, but we all have our favorite entities. But everyone in my family sewed. My
Mhm.
aunt was a children's wear designer. My grandmother's people, it is said, the family folklore, that they had a shop in Philly where they
Oh,
sewed for wealthy Jewish patrons. Um, I wish we had. There were no iPhones, so there are no pictures.
yeah, imagine if we had Instagram, 50, 100 years ago, just how much more we would have recorded. It would have been amazing
It
to,
would have been wonderful.
oh my,
I
I
there's
think
so
even
much
more
that we've
fabulous
missed.
than today.
Yeah. So my whole everybody was an artist. So
Right.
I come by it naturally. I used to get to paint a lot, when I was in school. I went to Howard. I went to Rhode Island School of Design first, and then came home and went to Howard. And I really enjoyed my time at Howard because I was there during the Afro-Cobra time. For those who know the Afro-Cobra artists, they were the teachers there at the time. So it was a great time to be in the art department.
Hmm.
Wonderful, wonderful teachers and an amazing atmosphere.
I can imagine.
I can't imagine what that would have been like. You know, especially was that period back in the 70s or
Yeah, 70s. Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I finished high school in 72. So in the 70s, I was at Howard, and my mother worked at Howard, so I got remission of tuition. So kind of didn't make sense for me to stay um, at RISD when I could go to Howard free, basically. So
For sure. For
yeah,
sure.
that made sense, and I'm glad that I had that experience. I would recommend to anybody to go to an HBCU.
So,
It's
so did
the
you go straight from school into, you know, being having all that creative influence around you, straight into being an entrepreneur, designing
you
for
know
yourself, or did you work for a while? What's your path?
Why?
no, I have always, even in high school, I always was sewing and doing things for people. So and so I'm basically a self-taught. um I don't like to use the word seamstress, but I'm a seamstress, on top of being a designer. So I'm basically self-taught, all experience, just learned by doing. So I've always been doing things. I mean, there were breaks in between. I did have to do a little studying and a little painting and what have you in between. So but I always was working. I never wanted to to go to New York and work for a design house, or anything. Young people, sometimes we have ideas that don't always make sense. Like, you think that you're going to run out of ideas.
Uh huh.
So you say, oh, if I go to New York, they're going to take all of my ideas. Well, turns out you kind of never run out of ideas if when you're really into something, and when you're a creative person, there are plenty of ideas out there. A never ending load of
I
designs,
think
you know.
that is something that people are afraid of at times. I'm sorry, Lavale. What you can say?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to know, did when you went from Howard, you went from Howard to the Rhode Island School of Design.
No,
I
vice
would
versa. Vice versa.
vice
I went
versa.
to RISD first, and I transferred from there to Howard.
Oh, okay. So how long were you at the Rhode Island School of
I
Design?
was just there for a year.
Oh, okay. But that atmosphere must have being around all those different design elements. I know Howard was their cultural element, but the other design element of other people being in the design field must have given you a strong sense of you being able to do that.
I don't know if I would attribute much of it to RISD. What impressed me with RISD was actually more the facilities. They had a huge foundry for those who wanted to do sculpting. They had whole rooms of uh, weaving looms.
Hmm.
Something that Howard still doesn't have. A huge room full of we called the teacher the bug lady. She had every kind of bug and plant, just a huge place where you could open a drawer and pull out any kind of plant, to draw from.
Mm.
So the facilities there were just absolutely astounding.
It sounds like.
And that was a major attraction, when I got there. I won't say that I got any super inspiration from there.
Oh,
It
okay.
that part of it just didn't click. I mean, that's one reason why I left there. Um, because it just wasn't. I mean, there were some people producing amazing work, and there were also some people playing at art. I so.
Hmm.
Uh, I much more enjoyed, my time being at Howard. It was a completely different atmosphere with, I would say, very little in terms of resources. I mean, the whole art department was basically one floor, but some amazing things, came off of that one floor.
I
So,
So,
got you.
so I know, you've been doing this you've been a creative for a long time, and there are so many
mhm.
different facets to you, as there are with all of us, really. But things that we don't know about you is that you're also a doll maker.
I have been eyeing that niche for a long time,
Oh, is this something
and
new?
some a friend of mine, a very good friend who's a doll maker, um, put together a group of people to discuss and create dolls that show the history of how dolls were used, and throughout history. And my doll, I'll show you one. My dolls, here's one, are they started out being little. I do larger ones, but they're called Abayomi dolls. So I was asked to do a modern version. These little dolls are done to represent dolls that were made by women who were becoming enslaved during the Middle Passage and beyond. They would tear their own clothing and make dolls, no sewing, just knotting and tying. And so I was asked to explore that option of using what I have on hand, which of course I have tons and tons of scraps of all kinds of fabrics. I work a lot with Ankara with African prints, so I always have tons and tons of African print fabric. And so I started experimenting, and these dolls are made with no sewing. They're just knotted and tied. And I make them so they come with their own little stand so that they can stand up on their own. And I do them in different sizes. And they were recently part of a show, a doll show here. And I was very honored to be showing with doll artists such as Paula Whaley. Um, I don't know if you all know Paula. She would, well, I don't know if she would, she doesn't do that much marketing of her work, but she's an amazing doll artist. A lot of doll artists from DC, Julie Dickerson and Francine Haskins, and a
Hmm.
couple of other sisters from New York. A classmate of mine, Schroeder Cherry, who had the only puppets, he's a puppeteer. He had the only puppets that were shown. Um, and it was an amazing show right here in Baltimore. Now, that same show or an iteration of that show is going to a gallery in New York City, Lore. First week in October is the opening. I'll
Okay,
let you guys know about it.
great.
So I'm really excited to be doing this type of doll. And as legend has it, and when joy is brought to the receiver. When if you buy this doll and give it to someone, there it's supposed to bring them joy, and that's what these dolls were made for during the Middle Passage, to give comfort to those who had lost loved ones, been stolen from their home. Their
Mhm.
for not only children but probably for adults as well. So
Mhm.
I've had a lot of fun doing these,
So this
and
is
I'll
like
show
a
you
new this
one
is
one
like a
that's.
new venture for you then, because I
Yes, this
know
this
you as well.
aspect is a new venture for
Mhm.
me. Can you give me the white one in the frame? I'm going to show you one also that I had to, in order to show in the gallery. They wanted the dolls to be protected, so dolls that couldn't be hung on their own, um, we framed some of them. So I know I don't necessarily like them framed, but for people, this is a framed one. Let me see.
Oh,
Move it
that's
in front of
pretty.
my face there. There you can see.
Just tilt it down a little bit.
Tilt it
Just
down
tilt it. Yeah, there you go.
forward. There we go.
There you
Yeah. So she's even got a little bit of jewelry on.
go.
I like
Yeah.
her.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
And
for
I'm not
people
a
who
doll.
don't,
I have to say, I'm not a doll fan, but she's lovely. Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
I like the costuming aspect, naturally, of doing the dolls. So, I am going to be moving into doing some dolls using the air dried clay and larger with more elaborate and sewn costumes. So
Okay.
there's a very specific shape with this kind of a doll. There's a specific shape and kind of a formula, that I've developed from making them, with the big skirt, and I'm having fun with them, and people seem to enjoy them, and it's at a price point that people can afford. Also,
Now,
the other ones are going to be more. Hmm?
is this something that you're going to showcase on your website, or is this something very different?
No, I am going to showcase them, but they're one of a kind. So one thing that happens when you're doing one of a kind things is that you don't even get a chance to put them up if you're dealing with a lot of people. So a lot of times, if they're sitting in my studio and I have a client in, they'll get bought before I even get the chance to put them up. That happens also with the clothing. Some of the one of a kind things you never get to see because
Yeah.
they get made and bought so quickly.
Yeah, speaking on your clothing, I'd love to see some of that. I don't know whether you have some on hand to show, but you're very specific in your technique,
Well,
which is
there's
definitely
always
you.
something. I
Yeah, I want to see some of the design work that she's probably got going on
This is
with the prints.
one of my
I
coats,
can shoot from the back.
and no, I don't want to move too far. You really can see it better on the website,
Hmm.
and there are pictures posted on Instagram. But what you can see up close is the block printing. This is fleece, and I use fleece because it's versatile, it's washable, and it's warm. And I wanted to be able to print on warmer fabrics that weren't so expensive as wool. I am experimenting with wool now because people have been asking. And you say, "Oh, is it wool?" They want wool. So recently, I participated with the American Craft Council show here in Baltimore, which was absolutely amazing to show with all of those artists. This piece, this has a simple print on it, but a fun print. It kind of echoes the mud cloth. So I use
Is
wood
is that
blocks for the prints.
is that the mud cloth? Is that hand painted or is that
This
a
this
block?
is this is using wooden blocks. So that's how I apply my prints, is using wooden blocks. And each time I do a print, I may do the same shape. This is a an asymmetric tunic, so I may do the same shape, and I'll do a different color, and it's a similar print, but it's different. The elements are the same, but
Hmm.
then I do something different within the print. Sometimes I'll throw in a different block. There's a bit of a different combination so that each one is different, and each
Can
one
we see a
is,
close up of that round block, like the real intricacy of that design?
yes.
That would be lovely. Over
You
to
want to
your
you want to see the round one?
yes. There
Yeah,
we go. Now we can
Oh, with
see.
the swirls, yes.
Yeah.
yeah. This pattern is echoing patterns in Native American pottery. So I also like to mix the prints because for me it's all one thing. You can find a similar pattern in Afghanistan that you would see in Native American
Mm.
prints. You can, there it goes that way all over the world. There's so many elements that have become universal, and there was certainly lots of trade going on long before recorded times.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of
Mhm.
things that we find, and for me, everybody is all connected. So I like to mix the prints because for me that makes the cultural connection from around the world evident in what I'm doing.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's like an early Aztec print from that with that circle and the lines going like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
like you said, there was a period of time where there was a lot of trade back and forth from Africa to Asia to,
hmm
and all those design elements definitely came into play in every single continent. Definitely, uh,
yeah.
yeah.
And I chose block printing because I used to use a lot of mud cloth. I had mud cloth, beautiful mud cloth coats that were carried in Nordstrom in Pentagon City down here in not inside DC proper, but Nordstrom in Arlington, I think, or Alexandria.
Hmm.
And but decided to. My husband actually inspired me to do my own printing because mud cloth was becoming very common, and the price actually bottomed out on getting it wholesale. The wholesale price was the same as the street level price. Back this is going back probably more than 30 some years. So I moved from doing that to learning to block print in Pakistan. So when I went there, I studied under the artists that were there. They really don't like you studying under them because these traditions are family traditions. The people who do the carving are just carvers. They don't do printing. The people who do printing don't do the carving. But and each one is it's kind of its own niche. So it's not that easy to get in. And then for me, the blocks are like paintbrushes, so I don't carve. I design them. And you kind of negotiate the design with the carver because they know what is going to make the best print also. So so they act as advisors. So
Wow.
that's been a very interesting thing. So I've been printing for about, I guess it's been about 30 years. I didn't
I can
realize it had been that long
I
until
can
I just
imagine
said
you
it.
probably have a lot of block prints. Do you have a large selection, or do you just
I
have like?
do. I have a large selection of blocks.
Hmm.
I keep some in Pakistan and I keep some here. So when I go there, I can print if I feel like it. But then sometimes I miss my blocks that are in Pakistan. But the ones here, you kind of develop your favorites. So because certain blocks, just really print well for you. So they become kind of favorites. I have to
Yeah.
make myself, use the other blocks.
I know how you feel. I have favorite blocks as well, as far as hat molds are concerned. Like, you don't
Uh-huh.
want to stray away from it because it's your favorite. So,
Yeah, and it's something that works. If it's working for you, you figure, why mess with it?
right.
Yeah, don't change a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, you got such beautiful pieces. I have one more question. Maybe Lavale has more, but do you do custom work at all? And if so, wonderful. And if not, why not?
I still do custom. It's not always my favorite thing to do
Hmm.
because it's very very time consuming and labor intensive on top of that. And people really don't understand the labor involved in creating an individual piece. Um, and they're so used to buying quickly, things from Amazon, coming at you quickly. Even I want, what I order, I want delivered quick now. I'm spoiled too.
Hmm.
But doing the custom work is it's hard to compete even with the work when we're doing not, I wouldn't say bulk because all of our things are limited editions. We're not producing hundreds and hundreds of the same thing. So maybe I might produce 10 similar items, but that's still not considered large production. But that for me is more fun, even though the selling is harder because you got to go sell it then. but that's more fun sometimes than doing the individual pieces, because you have to answer to the client. You know, you have to design within the parameters that they have set. um,
Yeah,
and although it takes a lot of skill to do that, and you can't compete with, you know, Fashion Bug Plus or even Macy's. You know, when you start looking at the quality of goods in department stores that are all made overseas, then it's very hard to compete, because most people are okay with throwing on something that's off the rack. There's a small niche comparatively of people who want custom made work. Um, you know, and I'm sure, but you know, both of you have experienced the same thing.
yeah.
Uh, you
I
know,
don't
you
know how
have fun being
how Lavely,
creative on your own.
yeah, I don't know how Lavely feels about it. I do not like doing custom work. Um, it really, like you said the correct word, parameters.
Hmm.
There's a price, there's a color, there's a shape, and it could take me weeks and weeks to like wrap my brain around it. Whereas I could do, you know, another hat in a day. So,
Right.
and it's not cost effective either. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
like
How do you feel about
yeah,
it, Lavale?
well, I will take on some projects that I don't particularly want to do, but out of out of out of favor for certain people and things like that. Sometimes I will do those particular things. My latest thing was the ring for ponchos, you know, and it's not something that just happened. I mean, he asked me to do this ring for his father that got stolen from his warehouse. You know what I mean? When somebody stole all this stuff, they took this ring and it was his father's ring, and he wanted to, you know, he wanted to recreate that same ring again.
Hmm.
So one of the artists put together the drawing of the ring, and then I was actually able to bring that ring to life for him. You know, so I kind of like those kinds of things sometimes.
yeah,
You know, but there are things some, you know, if you really want to piss me off, you just tell me what. If you tell me what to do, you're gonna piss me off. If you just don't, if you can't wait for me to do whatever it is that I'm gonna do, then we're not going to work very well. You know, if you come in with this thing that you want, then I say, hey, you go do it yourself. You know,
Yeah.
but if you want me to put my part into it, then it's going to take you a minute, because I take some time. You can ask some of my people. You know, their stuff will sit here for a long time before I get to it. You know, because
Hmm.
I gotta be a part of it. You know, if I'm not a
I
part
Yeah.
of
think
it.
yeah, that's the big thing. We're not machines, and so
Right.
we have to really feel it what we're doing. And so it might sit there for a little while we're thinking about it and putting our energy on it. And yeah, it's not like, oh yeah, I'll do it for you and you'll have it in a week. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want a green dress with this print on it. Well, go make your own green dress with the print on it. You know what I mean? No, you don't
Yeah.
need me to do that. You know
Yeah,
what I
but
mean?
unfortunately, we're all at the behest of, you know, the call from the renter, from the rentee. Which one? The one to whom we have to pay. That's the we've got to answer to the bill collectors, and you know, and sometimes we will take on projects. I mean, I do take on projects that I don't want to take on, um, but you know, money calls, and it's been so interesting. I've, you know, gone up and up and up on the prices, and you know, people still come, but it does weed out um, a lot of people who don't understand the work. And when you look at what people will pay for, you know, there's some things I just won't do. I get called to do prom gowns, for instance, and the young people now, they all think that they're Beyonce or something. I don't I don't I don't understand why they think that they're movie stars or something that should be dressed for the red carpet. You know, they're teenagers going to a party, for goodness sakes. But if you could see, I'm sure you've seen some of the kinds of things that I get asked to make. Um, it's appalling in some ways. So I pull back. There's some things that I won't do. They always have to bring their mamas because I'm not doing anything without mama's approval. Because you get in trouble later after you've taken that deposit, and and then mama says, "Oh no, I'm not paying." But the mamas are actually the biggest problem. The mamas really want their daughters to be sexy. 80% of the time, I don't get a lot of pullback from the mothers. They think I'm crazy for wanting the neckline to be a little higher, or not so much boobage, or something. It's interesting.
It's scary, but it show your body time no matter what
Yeah,
it is.
It's a whole different world.
it's a whole different world. I'm hoping that it calms down. The rappers, female rappers are starting to, female musical artists in general are starting to remove the extra implants and the extra stuff that they've had injected because it's making them sick. 3 or 4 of them just recently have done that, and I'm so happy for them, and happy for the young people who are watching, who haven't made that decision yet to get, they call butt shots, or I'm hoping it's going to pull back. I am working on I actually always have done modest clothing. Early on, I did a few see-through things early on, but the older I got and the more into designing I got, it became part of my whole MO to do things that were alluring but not vulgar, things
Right.
that could be construed as, they're not drawing the mind to the body so much, because there are extremes. Either you've got on a burqa, and which doesn't make you think about who the person is under that burqa. It's just a burqa covering body parts, or all the body parts are showing. So you're not thinking about the person's mind there either, because you're thinking about their body parts. So there's a middle ground where you can look fabulous and be fabulous, and be seen for all of those things, your brain, as well as beauty, but the beauty doesn't have to always be the lead in.
Yes,
Right.
yes. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to get back to a little bit about her art, and I was wondering about your studio situation. When you have your ideas, is your studio located near you, or is it very far away from you?
I'm in it.
You,
Yeah, we recently, I say recently, it's been a year, moved from my last location to a loft apartment, which, my favorite wall is the wall behind me. That's kind of my living room, if one could call it a living room space. I like art all over the walls and everywhere. But and the other side, which you can't see, the other side of that room is my studio. So I'm constantly at odds with my husband, who thinks it's all, he knows it's work, but for him it's also clutter, because he's a writer. So his clutter is a little different, and my clutter is bigger. So at some point, I have had stores. I've had separate studios. I've had I was in a house, before my parents died, that had a separate studio, and the garage was the shop. So I've been in a lot of different situations, but and I would love to have a big studio with lots of storage and be able to put everything away. But I've been able to create, no matter what situation I've been in. So I would like to have it a little bit more separate, because you have a tendency to not stop working. At least I do.
That's true.
I
That's
will,
true.
it's there.
And
I'll wake up and fall over to the machine, and
yes, Lavallee's like that. Lavallee works till like 1 in the morning, and then gets up and starts again, like, because it's in his house. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
yeah. I might be able
Yeah, well,
to
you
do
do the
like,
same thing too, I presume, because your stuff is downstairs, right?
No, I don't.
No?
No.
Oh, okay.
You
No,
don't,
I
You said
do
it.
you work at a given time period?
yes, yes. I always shut it down by 8 o'clock.
That's
Always shut it.
amazing.
I do
That
not work,
it's
but I do not work beyond 8, and I'm not getting up at 5, 6 in the morning to work either. I make sure my mornings are my own. So I like to walk. I like to do yoga. I like to have a nice breakfast, go
oh,
for coffee, and then
that's
do
just spectacular.
sometime you do my emails and all my social media, and then maybe I'll start work around 10, 11 o'clock. But yeah, shut it to 8 o'clock. Yeah. I'm not,
I
doing
can't
it.
do it. I guess part of the reason I can't do it is because I place, deadlines on myself, and then
Mm,
sometimes, like for the costumes, I mean, the show opens on the 13th. So if I have to stay up all night every night, they have to be in those costumes, and they have to be in
yeah.
the costumes several days before so that they can work on lighting and all of that stuff. So when I have those kinds of deadlines, it really, it kind of screws things up. uh,
I Yeah, I understand that. My deadlines are my shows. So,
mhm,
well, I got two deadlines. One, the Friday night show. Make sure I have some hats to show for this particular show. So it could
uh-huh,
be 8 hats, it could be 20 hats, depending on what I've done that week. And then it's the shows. So,
uh-huh,
yeah, I don't really do, I still have space for doing other things outside of that if I wanted to,
mhm.
because I've created that. But yeah, I don't. I was almost fell off my chair. But yeah, I can't do that all hours. Mm-mm.
And it would be nice to at some point. I do. I just found a person that I could work with who is an amazing seamstress who is doing some pieces for me. I do the cutting and the printing, and then she puts them together. So I've just gotten to that point to find somebody who was good and that I could trust. So my goal is to be able. She shuts hers down. She works 9 to 5. She shuts it down. Um, I I I can't do it
I
yet.
see Lavale shaking his head like that's not gonna
It's just it's
happen.
almost impossible to do. Sometimes I will fall asleep right at the machine, but the everything I don't there's certain things that I can't farm out to other people. Like I can't farm out the printing. I can't, there's certain things that I don't allow other people to make, like my coats. I'm the only one who makes my coats. So, and that's for, because of, proprietary information
I
patterns, the way I work,
I get it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Uh,
I know I only, farm out certain things, but, I'm hoping to be able to produce enough merchandise so that when I do shows, I don't have to take orders.
right.
This past ACC show, I had to take orders because I didn't have enough merchandise to let people take it right off the rack. I
Okay.
Not
only
at
had
that show.
enough to show
No.
people, but I will not do that again because
Not at
I'm
that
still
show.
working. It's 5 weeks out, and some of the fabric that came was the wrong color, and then something else that came was different than what. So it's such a headache to do it that way, but to be able to make money to pay rent and have also the time to just produce enough merchandise to really do shows. I mean, and it's nice that that people want things. That's the great part. But the last show I did like that was when I was just doing mudcloth, and I did a show at the Javits Center, a trade show, and just whatever I had, whoever bought it for their shop, I put the name in the pocket and put it aside, and so
Was it
that way I didn't have
was
to
it a
rush
cash and
home and try
carry
to
show?
make. Hmm.
Was it a cash and carry show? Or
No, it could have been, but I chose to ship so that I could really keep better records and have time to take pictures of what I
okay.
was selling. I wish it had been cash and carry because the largest order was the biggest bust. I made an error and sent it COD, and should not COD. I sent it. I gave him 30 days. I'm too small to do that because the 30 days has become 30 years.
Oh
So
yeah.
so
So,
in it,
so,
and
uh,
that was the biggest order.
so
You know.
I got one more question before, final question for you before we bring Lavalay back to this jewelry, and that would be the word legacy is circulating around quite a bit these days. People want to leave a legacy. So, where do you want to leave a legacy, and where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years'
Wow.
time?
That is a good question. I would like to leave a legacy of at least um, inspiring a change in where we look to get our inspiration. And by that, I guess I mean not looking to Europe for inspiration, and to help to help an industry develop that that we control in a different way, in a way that doesn't leave such a large footprint. Understanding sustainability in fashion, and I guess to that end, I do some teaching about sustainability, about um, slower fashion, keeping the brand small, quality in house, and helping people understand why they should buy locally and how they can spread their money around. You know, because the fashion industry is it is the major waste producer of all industries. We produce so much waste, and fast fashion is one of the culprits. And that fast fashion is that quick fashion that where there's a new line every week. There's 52 lines, rather than seasonal. Now it's every week the stores are being filled with lots of inexpensive merchandise, and I'd like to be part of the move to change that. And I think that's important. It's important for us as a people, and it's important, um, for Earth, for the Earth to be here. I have a daughter who's in her 30s, and she's an actress, but she would make a good designer. So I don't, I don't know. I don't know whether there would be anyone to leave my business to if it becomes large enough to actually leave. But I think I have had a little bit of influence on shape and style, because I've been at it a long time. And again, those who are designing, they're not but so many African American designers, looking at the big picture. So I've had some influence locally,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yes.
happy about that. So I don't know if I think the legacy uh, goes into what my daughter does with theater too, because she is involved in she does a lot of her own writing, and she helps um, BIPOC artists to create new pieces, and she's helped create a festival to that effect in San Francisco where she is. So it has rubbed off on her,
Yeah.
and her on me, because trying to see what young people who are really doing some amazing work. A lot of people say, oh, the millennials aren't doing anything. They're doing a lot. They're doing a lot that we don't get to see. There's more, and there's more even to the next level down than big eyelashes and excessive hair.
Well, I like that. So you're almost saying that your daughter is your legacy, and
Yes,
that's a beautiful
I
thing.
would say so.
Well, we thoroughly enjoyed having you on. Thank you so much for participating. We hope you come back again.
Well, if I'm invited back, I'll be back. No, this has been fun.
Hey, everybody. If you want to see some of her work, go check out her website, seharpeerzada.com. And she's also on Facebook and Instagram. So go check those out. It's under the same name, correct?
Yes, it's under the same name. Oh, and
Okay.
by the way, Artscape has just announced the dates. You all know Artscape in Baltimore,
Yes,
yes?
I've done it.
I
Right.
think it's the 22nd through the 25th of September.
Okay.
I
Ooh.
think applications will be out Monday. So they
All
put
right.
some out today, but not the artist application. So I hope they'll be out on Monday.
All
So
right.
I'm looking forward to that and looking forward to seeing you guys there.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
I've done that show once before, and it's a great show.
Yeah,
Yes, it
I
is.
enjoyed
it's a great
I enjoyed
show.
it. Yeah.
Yes, it is. All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. I had
We're
All
fun.
right.
Thank you.
gonna
Good.
say good night to Sehar, and we're gonna see some jewelry by Lavallee. So there we go. All
All
right,
right.
Lavallee. I enjoyed that conversation. Yeah, a bit more insight into who she is as an individual.
Oh, most definitely, and uh, very insightful into her background in terms of what it is that she does today,
Yeah,
and all those things of the doll making, print making,
yeah,
you know. So,
yeah, for sure.
all right.
All right, time for some jewelry, everybody.
Oh, I think I can do that. Let me see if I can do that.
Okay.
I got a couple of pieces I'm going to show. So there we go. Coming on right on up. Let me now. I got to switch to where I am and get
That
you
would
off
be
the set.
me.
Nope, that would be you. Let me see. How do I get to me and that one? Well,
I
maybe
would
it's
just
this one.
let's just do that. Go with it.
Maybe just that'll work,
Yes.
and you can just hear me. And oh, there we are at the bottom. No, that how where's my single thing? I don't know where my single thing is. There we go. It oh okay. Ah, great. Got to remove you. Ah, there we go. All right. So this is a new ear spear that I have, and I thought I'd show it. It's something I made out of the bamboo that I usually have. The big pieces of bamboo. So this is like one of the bamboo rings that have been cut in half, and so I was able to make two ear spears out of the one circle piece of bamboo. So this is BAM number one, and it's going to sell for $45. Got the black available, and it's probably going to only be available in a dark color like this black, and a lighter color, which will be more natural bamboo for right now, because I won't have time to do a lot of coloring with this particular ear spear. But as you can see, it does come loose, and you can buy a pair of them if you want. There could be like two of them. You can add stuff to them. So that's BAM number one. All right, now let me see. Go BAM number two. All right. It's a little cuff bracelet. It's a small bracelet. It probably fits like a size 7. It has the Anase symbol on one side and the Jiname symbol on the other side, with a nice piece of amber in the middle. Um, so this is, and it's going to sell for 185 on the show, and that's going to be 250 at a show. So I can give it to you at a reasonable deal if you're interested in it. And that's BAM number 2. Okay, I have that available right now. And one of a kind. All right, BAM number 3. Another one of a kind pieces. It's great material with amber. And normally it would sell for roughly about 450. So on this show, you can get this for 250. BAM number 3. And that one has the yellow amber uh, with the plant ivory. All right. So BAM number 3. And that can be whatever length you might want that to be. If it's size 7 or 8 or 9, that'll work for your wrist. Okay. All right. BAM number 4. It's the same bracelet, but it's with the red amber, and it will also be 250. Correct. And this is BAM number 4. And again, $250. Normally it's going to sell for $450 to $500, okay, at the show. So I give you the special deal, and this is the same bracelet, and this one is made with the onyx. So, and I kind of make these for guys, but it'll work for anybody. I don't make jewelry just for one particular person. I think if you like a piece of jewelry, you wear that piece of jewelry, and that's your piece of jewelry. It's not whether or not it's masculine or feminine, okay? So this is BAM number 5. So, and now for the last one, this is BAM number 6. And this is a beautiful little bracelet. It's, where is it? Thought I had it here with me, but I don't. Oh, it's a beautiful little bracelet. It's this one is $300, and it is the ivory stone with sterling silver, and these are little round nods. Okay, but it's a beautiful bracelet. BAM number 6. All right, and again, it's $300 just for the BAM show. Okay, so let me add you back there.
Number 3.
Oh, well, how did I get that screen all the time? Here I go.
Okay.
There we go.
Right. Those are great pieces. I can see you are getting ready, and we're hotting up for show season. It's coming up, so yeah, you got some good pieces there for sure.
Oh yeah, I got more to do. That's the only problem with it right now, is that time is not on my side.
Yes, we've got a lot to do. The big show we're both working towards is New Orleans Jazz Festival, May 4th through 7th. I am working also towards a pop-up, which I have next weekend here in Philadelphia. The I Am Beautiful show, April 14th and 15th in Germantown. And Lavallee is also doing a show, was it called Festival de Louisiane?
Yeah, and it's in Lafayette.
Lafayette.
It's a great show. They usually have great world artists at that particular show. It's also the first weekend that Jazz Fest goes on. So I have to follow up that show with Jazz Fest. And then I hopefully will be following up Jazz Fest with BAM and Capital Jazz. I don't know, Mel, did BAM, we haven't heard from Dewana yet. Haven't heard anything about BAM yet, but I mean, I did put in my application. I did everything that I needed to do. So I normally don't worry about that show. I'm usually in that show, but we haven't gotten any notification yet about that particular show. But that's another show that I'm looking forward to this particular year. I always look forward to going to New York City and being in Brooklyn. And then I'll follow that up with Capital Jazz. So.
All right, we've got a busy season ahead. We've been going on for an hour and a half. We hope you enjoyed tonight. We'll be back next week, next Friday. Yeah. Next Friday. I was about to say with a guest, but I'm not sure that we have a guest, but you will see the two of us, definitely.
Oh, yeah, we'll be here.
We'll be here. We'll be here right up until the end. Okay. So again, hope you enjoyed the show. Check us out on YouTube. Check out our website, and like, share, all that good stuff. Subscribe. You can tell we're over 40, right? Yeah, just do all of that.
Yeah, I can't go find the overlays and put all those things up.
That's
so.
all right. That's all right.
All right.
Okay. So good night, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thank you so much for looking in and checking in with us and being part of the family. All right. Good night, everybody.